Right, so here's a project.
Okay, so we're starting construction. Welcome to Advisory Design Panel for July the 19th, 2018. We will start with business item DP 488 Legacy Ridge, Lot 58, Mamquam Road. Sorry? Oh, do we have to go through all that? Okay, so we're really starting from scratch. Adoption of the agenda, can we have a motion? Sarah, seconded by Dwayne. The minutes from the previous meeting, are there any corrections or amendments to those minutes? Not hearing any.
I was here, there's none.
Okay. Sarah, seconded by Dwayne. Right, John, get you next time. Okay, business arising, we're on to new business. Item DP 488 Legacy Ridge, Lot 58 Mamquam Road. Would the planner like to introduce the project?
I'll introduce the planner, Brian Daly. He's fairly new at the district and it'll be his first presentation at the EP.
Welcome, Brian.
Hello. So today we have a development permit application for 30 townhomes and an 11-unit apartment building. Subject property is located at Lot 58 off Mamquam Road in the University Highlands. The development is subject to Development Permit Area 9, University Campus and Residential requirements, specifically Section C2 multifamily. But this project has not previously been presented to ADP. The subject property is zoned University Housing 1 and the proposed development meets the zoning requirements. A variance is requested to Section 4.6B of the Subdivision and Development Control Bylaw for a cul-de-sac road that exceeds the maximum length by 95 meters. Staff review has concluded that the guidelines are largely met apart from the orientation guidelines, which would be challenging to achieve on this site. Staff is soliciting feedback and comments regarding the form and character of the proposed development as it pertains to Development Permit Area 9, specifically in regards to site plan, architectural design, building materials and exterior finishes, and landscape plan. And I'll pass it over to the proponent now for the presentation.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Right, so, yeah,
Same face.
just thinking how I'm going to cut this down. Legacy Ridge introduces a selection of housing options to Quest University Garibaldi Highlands area by featuring a mix of 2- and 3-story townhouses and a 4-story apartment building. So in this image, we've got in the foreground, this is the apartment building, and then behind it, and stretching along the hillside are the townhouse buildings. So this site is basically on Mamquam Road above Quest University. So basically we're Mamquam Road where the pavement ends at the moment. So it's on a pretty steep site that's got a slope that runs perpendicular to the length of it and a cross slope that runs from Mamquam up to the end of the site. So it's a challenging site in that we're at kind of maximum grades for roadways. That affects a lot of the design decisions. So in here's the site plan. The blue blocks are townhouse units. So we've got 5 townhouse buildings. Each there's 6 plexes with a variety of townhouse types. In some instances, we've got 2-story townhouses, and in other instances, we have 3-story townhouses, and that's responding to the topography. We wanted to kind of adjust the topography as little as possible. So in areas where it made sense to have a 3-story or a lower level walkout level, we have that. And in other areas where we're at grade, we do not. The apartment building is situated at basically at the entrance to the site, and it's over here on the side. The site access is through a driveway, or is it 2 spots basically. For the apartment building has a site access to a parkade under the building in this location, and the townhouses have a driveway with the aforementioned cul-de-sac, long cul-de-sac. And each of the townhouses has a driveway and landscape in front of them. Here's an image that shows basically the situation of the topography and the units on the site. This site down below is this is another site below here, which is a series of single-family residential lots. So that's the neighboring site. We've got steep across the site this way, and also quite steep across the site this way. There's a cross slope. This road rises up at basically 12% on the entire length of that. And so what we've done to kind of mitigate that is to, in terms of form, it's really allowed us to separate the units quite a bit. We step the units front and back from unit to unit. They're kind of staggered. And also they're staggered in elevation by about 3 feet from unit to unit as you move along. Here's an image. This again is an image from below, from just to the left of Mamquam Road, looking up to the site from a single-family site. And this is a view from above, right immediately above this site. Behind this site is a hydro right-of-way. And this would be a view from that area down to the entry side of the town space. In the site plan, I didn't point this out in the site plan, but along the driveway, immediately across the driveway from the entry of the apartment building, is we've got a mailbox kind of kiosk, a central area for mailboxes, and through this area also access up into our park area, which is across the road from the townhouses and the apartment building on the uphill side. This is a view of the apartment building from the pedestrian entry side. So the car access is down below, and then we've got some street parking in front here, and this is the pedestrian access, the secondary access. We've got a series of stairs here to bring it down to the grade, but as well a ramp, actually quite flat because it starts at a lower level through here for an accessible route. This is an image of one of the townhouse buildings. So we've got, as I said, they're staggered. They step 5 or 6 feet in front of each other as it goes along, and also they're staggered in height. And that gives, actually pretty good opportunities for having individual exterior spaces, which can be landscaped to become more of a private type spaces between the units. In terms of materiality, we're looking at a hardy shingle product for a lot of the dark gray and the white color. Those would be shingles, and then have sort of limited amounts of wood really in the entry area. In areas where you can get up close to it and walk by it, we wanted to have some wood in there, but we were mindful of having too much wood in there because of really fire smart principles and the location of the site immediately to close to the forest and Garibaldi Park, which is beyond the site. Garage doors, we're looking at having sort of not transparent, but translucent glass doors, frosted glass overhead doors, and then each unit has individual entry, which is screened from the neighbor, as well landscape at the transition between the units. And Jason will speak to the landscape as we get through here. Just to go through, we've got floor plans for the units. I'll just forward ahead to the apartment building. So apartment building, we're using a similar materiality as the townhouses, even though the massing of the form is quite a bit different. We're looking at, again, having the lighter materials here are a painted shingle, painted hardy shingle on the facades, and then metal flashings surrounding the kind of eyebrows and overhangs. And then this area here is the kind of access corridor which leads you to the elevator. As an exterior access, it would be a landscape walkway, and that again would be wood siding in places that you get quite close to. And, so we want to have that kind of warmth, materiality, and texture. And on the rear, these are the units. A lot of glazing to the south. We've got screens and louvers as well to start to control the sun. The sun, it's facing. These are largely west facing on this aspect. To get to try to control the sun as much as possible as well. We've got these kind of eyebrow walls that stick out that also start to work as vertical louvers as well to screen the sun, provide some shading. Guardrails are frosted glass in this area. Sorry, these finer grain, those are wood screen louvers in between. And out in front, we've got a sort of a park area, an exterior space for the residents. I'd like to actually. So here's just quickly the materiality again. We've got exposed concrete. We've got wood soffits and wood siding in certain areas, and then hardy products for the shingles, wood louvers, glazed garage doors, and glass rails. Just want to quickly pop back to the site plan. So we'll let Jason do this on this, but I'll just give you a quick overview of this site. So this is the hydro right-of-way, which currently has a bike trail in it, and we wanted to provide access. So we've got a few park areas, which don't really show up great in this drawing. But again, on steep site, we've got park areas and planned walkways that then connect to trails that are existing up here. As well, we've got connections down through the development, through another kind of park area, which then extend into this residential area below. So this is sort of a secondary access down to the lower area. And it gives the site some permeability for people moving through and wanting to go up to this area or to use the bike, the small pump track that we've got located in this park. So this area here has a pump track in it, and it is a community park for the residents, but also for use of the neighbors. And with that, we'll go to landscape, and Jason can speak to that quickly. Yeah, so here. This one? Yeah. Okay.
No, switch. We're gonna just
Float up. Yeah.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jason Parks, and please don't hold it against me that I'm from Ontario. My parents live on Salt Spring, so I still have my mountain bike and everything that I used to ride. Anyways.
And he interned in my office 20 years ago, so he's okay.
So if there's anything wrong with the plans, it's Crosland's fault. I'll keep my presentation as short as possible. I know we're tight on time. So what I like to do is focus on the open space areas, let's call it common park areas, and just talk a little bit about how there's activities and how we've activated the space. The top of the plan where the pointer is, that's what we've termed a naturalized play area, and it's a combination of a pump track and a naturalized play zone. So the naturalized play zone incorporates the like log and boulder components for casual, unstructured play. And it could either be like a zigzag balance beam, climbing poles, stump stools, stepping logs, and then the pump track circling the park itself. It's about 60 meters in length, which is a pretty good distance. It incorporates rollers, and I've termed the one big corner towards the entrance on Mamquam as the Royal Crescent. So there's fun components in it. It's 5 feet wide and packed dirt as far as the surface for the pump track. The pedestrian trail or the walking trail, that's colored, the tan color that circles inside it, that's just a gravel surface, again 5 feet wide. But the idea is just to provide a little bit of unstructured play opportunities and just some interest, and it's a great view from that area since it's slightly elevated above the road. And then traveling west, so below building 1, in this, so there's a pathway that connects through the single family to road F. And then there's also a pathway that connects to the staircase that goes up to road G. So there's continuity through this area. There was a comment about try to activate this slope. So instead of just having a slope from the ground floor units down to the trail, we are proposing again more naturalized components. So again, logs, boulders, and on the kind of on this wedge area that we would do just logs and slope. So, large logs are placed into the slope, and it's a seating, climbing opportunity. Below the apartment building itself, we're thinking maybe more of step logs. Children, adults, whoever wants to, they can go up the step logs, and then this area within the dashed line is a somewhat of a mown area. It's not so much mown by a mower, but maybe a line trimmer, and kids can use it to roll down. They love slopes to roll down. My kids do it all the time. And so the idea was just provide a little bit of, again, more unstructured opportunities, and just something that's maybe a little different and fun. I think I'll jump over to the Lookout Park on the other side, on LP3. So at the end of the cul-de-sac, there's a gravel trail that's proposed to link up to off-site trails. There was a request about making that trail wide enough for a side-by-side to get up. So it's shown as an 8-foot wide gravel trail right now. And there's also a 5-foot wide gravel trail that connects up to the knoll. There's a rocky knoll, and that's in this area here. Between the Lookout and the main trail, thought we could throw in a few little components, and we just call them logs with notch steps. So it's an opportunity again for somebody just to climb up these step logs up to the viewpoint. So it offers an alternative or something interesting. There's boulder seating placed in various areas, just to provide a spot to relax after climbing up the hill and that sort of thing. Other than that, the landscape incorporates ornamentals and some native shrubs, and essentially between the units themselves, I'll bring this up, landscape plan 04. The driveways are fully planted meaning that between the driveways, there isn't any grass, it's shrubs. And it's a combination of evergreens such as maple pine and some grasses, fountain grass, and then a small or medium-sized tree towards the sidewalk. And that just provides some year-round greenery and just a bit of an edge to the driveway instead of just grass. So I think just because I know the time is clicking away, unless there's something else that you'd like me to speak to specifically, I think I'll stop at that point.
Great, thank you very much. No further comments from the planning. I'll go into questions. Yeah, okay. We'll just keep, well, let's switch it up. John, you're up.
That's fine.
I actually don't have any questions of mine. One question on site coverage I see on the stats here, so I really don't have a question right now, per se.
Okay, you can come back to you if you need. Sarah?
My question is, with apartment C is the only one that doesn't have stairs in it, has there been any consideration to have one of the bathrooms be wide enough to accommodate a wheelchair?
Oh, yeah, good point.
So it's a good question while we're talking about it. That's all my questions. Yeah, C is the only one without stairs, so
Yeah,
if you pushed into the flex space, you might be able to get.
absolutely.
No questions for me.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, unit plans in this application, did I miss them?
There are, yeah, we kind of skimmed over them very quickly.
They're not in the packet, that's fine, thank you.
Yeah, they're in the package.
Those ones? While I'm chatting, unit plans in there. I got, no? I thought I saw them.
Yeah,
Okay.
that is a stack, yeah.
Yeah, there's a big stack here.
Okay.
Pass one of those.
Maybe I've got a thicker set.
No, it's fair enough, it's just in my
Okay.
packet, there isn't for whatever reason, but
Okay.
thank you.
What's the tenure of the property to the top of the page, the east, I guess it is? What, you said hydro right away, but whose land is it?
Oh, it's actually, it's
Crown.
yeah.
It's Crown.
Crown.
So driveway and construction over the property line, how can you achieve that?
There's an application to Crown to,
Get a
For that
statutory
road use.
right away or an easement or something?
yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
Good. Can you explain how you would, approaching, if you were a visitor to the apartment and wanted to use the street parking, how do you get to that street parking?
There are 4 spaces provided just on the left hand side as you're going up the new Legacy Way.
Yeah, so how do you get to the space? Okay, I'm coming up
Yeah,
from the
you're going-
university.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
going to the cul-de-sac and turning around.
Yeah,
And going in
yeah.
there.
Not great.
Being that this is Squamish, you're driving right into here and parking no place on that side.
With your truck. huh?
One of my pet peeves, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Did you ever consider lay-by for the mailboxes, and is it just mail, it's not solid waste, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So people can walk down to the mailbox instead of doing the on the way home thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's we hadn't really considered a lay-by, only because we thought that it would start to interfere with the size of the pump track park.
Okay. Mamquam Street, is there a streetscape and or sidewalk? It looks like it's on the other side of the street.
Yeah.
Is there a streetscape that exists? I can't remember. We did a project down there somewhere.
The sidewalks.
Street trees or any plantings?
Yeah, not really.
Oh,
I mean,
Yeah, I don't know that there's a policy for that on that street.
There's no, wouldn't be any.
Is it university or that's district
District.
frontage?
Yeah, so it would be our subdivision development control bylaw, but there's no unique treatment to Mamquam Road.
But we'd be expecting then each development lot to finish their street.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
For sure.
And Jason, the pathway down to Road F, it seems really tight. Is there a statutory right of way between those two houses?
I believe so.
There is.
Super
Yes.
tight. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and those are, you can see the setbacks for the houses drawn on that
Yeah.
plan.
Still tight. And I wonder if you, given your close proximity to forest interface, would you consider a non-combustible soffit? Because soffits being one of the most vulnerable surfaces on a wildfire situation.
Yeah, we hadn't considered that.
Okay.
That is something we can
And then I think
certainly consider.
Andreas, you said frosted glass for the railings?
Yeah,
Okay, is that for privacy?
for privacy,
Okay.
to screen the bikes and barbecues.
Okay. And there's no sample of that frosted glass in there, is there?
I don't think there is actually. Yeah, but it would be an interlayer of frosted glass.
Okay. That's my questions. John, did you come up with any more, or you want to roll right into comments?
No, I see I was curious about the visitor cells, but I see where they're hidden in between the buildings there now, so I get it.
Okay.
I'm good.
Rock on to comments.
I would love it if we had developments like this down in the valley. This is really cool. I think it's great. This would be a really fun little neighborhood to live in up there. I don't really have any recommendations. I think I'm going to leave that to my colleagues who are experts in design. But functionally, to me, obviously there's no commercial here, so it's not much for me to say that way. But I think it's a really cool little project. I'll be up there in the pump track with my son. Hopefully we don't have to fight too many other people for parking stalls nearby, but we can make the jaunt up the hill. Anyway, I'll pass it on.
Okay, thanks.
My comments would be to expand that space for apartment C to make those bathrooms. So we do at least one of them. Have one of them be accessible. And then the pathway that leads into the pump track, if that could be compact aggregate or granite crush, then it compacts quite well.
Right.
And then it's a much more manageable condition to roll on than gravel. Gravel's a challenge. And also the gravel spreads, right? So if you've got it compacted.
Yeah, you're talking about the really fine, quite fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the size of the aggregate is, but it's like do you know, Crossan, the size of the aggregate, like a granite crush that's used on the
3/8
pathway?
minus usually.
Yeah, it's by the art house and the
Yeah.
all the way. Is that?
3/8 minus, yeah.
Yeah, it works great.
For sure.
Okay, that's all my comments.
I like the development in general. The open spaces, they seem well thought out. I don't have anything negative to say about it. To me, the coolest thing is the mailbox right tucked in there. So that's kind of cool. So, I think it looks good. I haven't looked at the unit layouts because I know we're going to be studying that, so I'll be over that. I think it's good.
Look at him while Dwayne's chatting.
Yeah, very good project. I think it speaks to the site really well. We were asked to comment on form and character, finishes, and the landscape. I think it reads as a project that's actually quite playful. Even the landscape was presented in a playful way. So I think that comment could probably be extended into the architecture a little bit. If the architecture could be a little more playful, and perhaps I think a variation could be added. I like how it almost sculpts the landscape. Some people might be scared of that. I actually kind of like it. I like the uniformity of it. So I might sort of just put it out there. If it were me, I think I would probably just soften it a bit in the sense that it's all much of the same. So much of the same, it's all much of the same roof. You could seems to be an opportunity to maybe combine two of the roofs. And then that would probably mute it a little bit. At the same time, the variation could come from the streetscape because these are people's front doors, and as they meet the street and they're entering through a garage area of a townhouse, probably just be, I think if the word playful was introduced a little bit, that may be enough. The apartment building is very clever, I think, and the unit plans they feel like units, or they feel like family units, and that's great. So, thank you.
Great.
I have another comment.
Good, please.
Just as far as the signage, where you've got Legacy Ridge here on the side of the building, just recommend against that. Typically never really does a residential area justice. If I lived there, I'd be not feeling great about that. Something more like a high quality stone, you know, stand aside sign made out of stone or wood or something like that that's engraved. Something a little more quality that's for that purpose rather than just sort of lettering that's put on the side of the building. Just however that plays out as a suggestion,
Yeah.
that's just a personal opinion.
Okay, good, okay. And my comments, I think, I was thinking, when I first saw it, I thought of your project Red Sky. How many units are in that string of buildings?
There are 44.
Oh, okay. So, but what makes this one quite a bit different, because that becomes quite a few units in a row. But the fact that this is arcing and rising, I think you get that kind of unfolding ticker tape versus just seeing the whole thing in one shot. So I think it works maybe better on this, in this site in this case. It's tight, I find, especially when you apply real grading to a site like this. Like if it looks tight on paper, it's really tight in reality. In the grading, so trying to work out all the grades. And I guess on that, I think there's probably more detail. Jason, you provided a typical between units, but at some point you're going to have to do a full landscape plan that's going to describe the extent of the project.
There'll be individual peculiarities between some of the buildings that have to be addressed.
I think the mailbox, if you had a mailbox lay-by without losing park space, it could also be a convenient donut spot in the middle of the street for getting onto the right side of the road without having to go by that many units up to the end. And can the district relax the 90 meters? Isn't that a fire code issue?
We can. I think a few years ago is when we shortened it.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm pretty sure we can.
Oh, okay.
Talked to our fire department.
I
In
hadn't-
fact, that's what happened down below on the cul-de-sac as well.
Okay, okay, good. Yeah, so then down to materials, yeah, my comment about wood soffits, maybe put wood where it's more tangible and maybe less vulnerable for wildfire conditions. And frosted glass, I think you're high enough up there, you're looking out, those houses are well below you, right? So I find it a bit annoying sitting in the dining room and not being able to see the ocean. So maybe reconsider your glass choice there. And I think, you talked about the wood screen louvers.
Yeah.
So those are permanent, fixed in place, right?
That's right, yeah.
Again, super tight. I've got a couple of projects where that, and they're really hard to maintain between the louvers and re-stain and stuff like that. So I might think about a more durable material in that condition. Yeah. So that's my comment. So I guess this.
I just have
Yeah, please,
one
sir.
more question and comment. The condos, or the townhouses rather, they're at grade, the entrance,
The entries are, that's right.
and it's a pocket door into the powder room?
Yes,
I think so.
yeah.
It is, yeah.
So I don't know if there's enough spaces in the code, but, I mean, in essence, this is visitable, right? So you should be able
Yeah.
to get in there. So, yeah, question.
Should be.
Should be.
Does it work? Does it work if it's a pocket door?
Yeah. Yeah, as long as you can, yeah, good. Okay.
Cheryl, did you have any unit comments after you see that? Okay, good. So I think we're in a position to make a recommendation our 4 standard recommendations. A, that the advisory design panel support the project as presented and does not need to see the project returned for further review. B, the advisory panel supports the project in general and would like the applicant to work with staff to resolve the following recommendations. And C, that the advisory design panel would like the applicant to resolve the following recommendations and return to panel. And 4, that does not support the project for the following reasons. Do we have a motion for any one? B. So that's the advisory panel supports the project and in general and would like the applicant to work out the following conditions with staff. Do we have a seconder for that? Sarah, any discussion? No discussion, call a vote, all in favor? Carried unanimously. Good. You can go to your meeting now. We have, so that concludes the application. Thank you very much. And you can work out the details with staff. And for us, the rest of our agenda, our council member isn't here, so if there's no other business, a motion.
I just have
Sarah. Yeah.
We talked about this before, and this is to planning, because I know that on the website, we have the agenda package, have everything in it. But when we're getting this printed, because we're getting all of these, can we have them printed without all of them very small?
Yes,
Because it
my
just ends up being
apologies.
so much paper, and I hate that.
Absolutely.
So just the report in the
Yeah, so
11
we
by
just get the
17
report
or 8.5 by
and the
11?
recommendations in the agenda, and we get the large drawings here.
Okay, good.
Because then you can just let the staff know.
Yes.
which pages to print.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I followed up with staff after the last meeting.
Good. And,
That's all.
okay. Yep.
We are gonna have to do more appointments because some of the members, I think Pam has indicated that they are unable to make the time commitments. So there's gonna be another call out for members. And the Public Art Committee has identified an interest in having one of their representatives sit on ADP because we're more and more going to be seeing public art as part of projects. So I just wanted to get some feedback from the membership in terms of changes to the bylaw if we made one of the members at large a public art representative.
There's 2 members at large right now?
I believe so, yeah.
So that would make a third non-professional?
No, we wouldn't be adding another member, we're just making one member at large a public art representative.
So can I start? I'll give you my 2 cents before I leave. To me, public art, especially if we're looking at, say, this project, it's pretty specific. So I think you need as long as the district has a process to do the art selection, I think I'm okay with it. And I don't think it's necessary to have a ADP member as a public art representative, but I mean, it wouldn't hurt. Not all of our projects have public art. So,
That's true, actually.
or maybe I'm just not aware. But
Almost none.
all I'm saying is it's more important that the district has a public art process in place rather than okay, I can call. So it's leave it to the rest of my colleagues to decide whether or not we need one. But I don't think it hurts, but I don't feel it's necessary. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Cheryl.
Yeah, I would just fear that, there's some member at large who are involved, like Shan. She's involved in the design industry, but she's not a professional. It's valuable to have somebody like her sit on the panel as well. Is it possible to do an outreach to the Public Art Committee when there are projects like this to say, can you have somebody come and attend and move on?
Yeah, that could be an
Is
option.
part of the, is going to be part of the package of the.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Maybe that's it.
It's a very large panel already, and I'm surprised at the lack of attendance.
I know.
It's, you know, I
hope
think
it's just a-
Whistler, we had a smaller group and the attendance was always quite strong. So I'm not quite sure if it just needs a kind of, reassessment of the individuals, if it's just too much for them, touch base with them, and perhaps there's somebody else in there.
Or do the terms of reference need to change, that if you miss like 3 consecutive meetings, you're out?
I agree with that one, yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's already in there.
Yeah.
Wasn't that discussed before?
Yeah, I think it's already in there.
Or
Because-
they should get their notices.
you end up with a really big group and people go, oh, well, somebody will show up, right?
Yeah.
Versus, it's a smaller group, you need to show up, or, I mean, at least you need to communicate.
Yeah. So I think Sarah Dicker, if she hasn't already, she will be sending out a request to all the members to see where you're at with your time commitments.
Mhm.
Make sure that you can continue attending regularly. And then we'll go from there. We might have more than one appointment in the next round.
Yeah.
I was late today because of my phone thing. It usually gives me a message an hour in advance that it's coming up, and for some reason, I think Sarah's email
Yeah.
overrode my schedule, and she's got a 15-minute warning in there.
Oh.
So 15 minutes from Paradise Valley. Yeah, but anyway.
I don't know, I got off the water today in order to make this meeting.
Yeah.
so-
My problem with
That's even
Handy
harder.
and how it's a misnomer, anything but handy about it. They were like half an hour late. And
Oh.
then
Okay.
nobody got on the phone. So I phoned twice to the reception.
Any thought on design
to let them know.
members, or?
They weren't answering.
No, just as
No, they
far,
were
yeah,
actually-
membership period.
Oh, I see. Yeah, no, thanks for making
We all
it.
take a lot of time.
Luckily, we
Our schedules
it worked.
Yeah.
Others don't show.
Can I answer your question? As far as public art and people from the arts community, I am a past director of the Arts Council. I'm also a member of Squamish Arts Council, and I honestly think it's redundant. I think it's totally unnecessary. I have to agree with Cheryl. I don't think we necessarily need to peg someone as from that group, because they're already functioning
Yeah.
in a role, and they're always welcome to come to the meetings when there is a project with public art in it. So really, reserving that spot when there's maybe 1 in 10 projects that have public art.
Versus you
Yeah.
might have a housing advocate, or,
Yeah.
there's lots of other areas that might be more relevant.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why it might be more beneficial just to invite them to, it would be valuable for them to come and see the presentation, to say, look, this is going to be, something that we're going to put towards public art, to do this proposal, and then knowing that they've got process to follow.
Mhm.
So they've got.
I think a lot of people don't understand how actually welcome they are to come to an ADP meeting and see the projects ahead of, when they hit the public. I mean, it is public information. They're absolutely allowed to walk in and sit
Oh, yeah.
down.
Well, they're streaming it every night. Netflix or ADP. Okay.
Okay, I think
That's
that-
it?
that gives me
Motion to
good
terminate the
sense.
meeting? Okay, everybody motioned and all in favor, good, done.